And we are back with some more Washington Capitals franchise mode in FHM 10. And in this one, we have the start of year number 7, I believe it is. Coming off a season where we went 15, 19, and 7, by far our best performance to date. However, we have run into something of an issue when it comes to the salary cap. And it's not going to be this year that we have the issue, it's next year. With 30 players currently on our roster, this salary of $83.4 million will definitely go down as we send players down to the AHL. But you have several players who, starting next season, are going to be making much more money than they're currently making. Suzdalev is a perfect example of that. He's currently making 2.6, asking for nearly double on his extension with 5.5. In fact, over double what he's currently making. Crystal, who's currently making 4 mil, wants 6.2. Protus making 4.5 currently, wants 5.5, so it's not much of an increase, at least compared to the other guys, but still it's a lot of money that's being sent out. Then you have a Fanasev, who's currently making 4.5, extended for 5.5. Misa, who's currently on his rookie deal, he was extended for 4.25. Alex Wong, also on his rookie deal currently, extended for 3.25. We're gonna have a lot of cap issues next year, I know it. So that is why I have called up various depth players to see in the preseason to see if we could potentially use them as replacement players if needed, because there is a pretty good chance that we'll have to move on from at least a couple of these guys come next season. So I want to know who I can rely upon of all of these guys when the time comes to call them up. And of course, we also traded for Alexei Toropchenko, who we retained half the salary of from the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we got him for 2 years at $1.06 million, which is perfect for our situation. And besides that, we did need some more veteran presence in there. He's 30 years of age. That would make him, I believe, tied for the oldest player on our roster. So I figured it was a good fit. But with all that being said, let's get through the preseason. Oh boy, this was not a good preseason. We had, I think, 2 wins in total. Yeah, against New Jersey and Nashville. Every other game was a loss there. A couple ugly losses, especially against Philly, 6-3. So Knight in 4 games played with an 867, and Kachukov in 3 games played with an 860. Yikes! You do not like to see it. Getting flashbacks to to the old days of this team. And when I say old days, I mean not too long ago, like a couple of years ago when we had terrible goaltending. So hopefully they can get it together for the regular season. Protus and Huang lead the way in scoring with 6 points, followed up by Galvas, Fanasev, Crystal, Kartai, and Misa. But what really matters to me here is how the young guys have performed. Royston, the 47 defensive grade. He can go back down to Hershey. Jeremy Larange, only a 54 offensive grade, 57 defensive grade. He can go down to Hershey as well. What did he do during the preseason? 1 assist. Yeah, not too impressive, unfortunately. Defensively, Will Reynolds with the 54 offensive grade, 67 defensive grade. I mean, he did better than some of the other veterans on this team, but, you know, that's a pretty small sample size, and we are already very young on defense as is, so I think I'll send him down. John Carrier with the 64 offensive grade, 55 defensive grade. Certainly not the worst performance on the team, but not my first choice to stay up either. Then you have Olivier Metcalf, who had a 72 defensive grade. That is the best defensive grade among forwards. Then you have Mata, who had a 61 offensive grade and a 63 defensive grade, so pretty good overall. He only played in 1 game though, so that's not too much of a sample size. So I think for now I'll send him down. I think if anyone, Metcalf would be the most likely to stay up here. But even he only played 1 game, 14 of ice time. So I think I'll send him down as well. Now, who's going to be the last guy going down here? I think for now it's got to be Parasik. Despite the fact that he's a 3-star talent, his numbers are just sort of underwhelming compared to everybody else. So in fact, I think I might put him on the trade block, because every time he's been up here, he's just been kind of underwhelming. Oh yeah, he's gonna have to be waived. Yeah, I think I might just trade him now, because a 3-star player more than likely going to be taken off waivers. So I'd rather just trade him now while I can, rather than lose him for nothing. Yeah, he would have been claimed. There's some interest for him. All right, I have a very interesting trade lined up here, as you can see. Tarek Parasik, the rights to Iro Paso, a 1st-round pick for this year and a 1st-round pick for next year, which is top 10 protected, in exchange for Charlie McAvoy at 50% of his salary retained. And it's a 1-year contract as well. So this isn't hurting for the salary cap situation for next year. This is purely a rental. So yes, I realize we're giving up a lot here for a rental player, but I think McAvoy might just be what we need to put us over the top. He's got great mental ratings, great physical ratings, positioning's at 20, checking at 19, defensive read at 19, passing's at 18. He's a great player. And just judging based off his overall grades in the simulation, it looks like he's at least solid defensively. And he's also a point scorer. He can get you 30 to 40 points per season. So this might be something I do. Because at this point, I'm not worried about our first round pick. At least not for this year. Because we have plenty of depth right now as far as prospects go. We have a very young defensive core. So I'm not concerned about Paso right now. He's 20 years of age, 1.5 star ability. Looks like he's still a long ways away. So I doubt he's cracking the roster anytime soon. Parasic, as we've seen, does not impress every time he's up here during the preseason. And as far as the first round picks go, like I said earlier, if there was ever a time to trade our first, I think this is the year. Like, this is the year to get it done, because this is more than likely the last year we'll be able to have this core group of guys together. I was not expecting to make a trade like this here, but I think this makes complete sense, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Offer trade. Hopefully it goes through before Parasic is waived. I didn't even think about that. Wait a minute. Did Parasic clear? Parasic cleared as a 3-star ability? Wow, he cleared. Okay, I'll take it. Kind of surprising, honestly, but I will definitely take it. I mean, I guess there were a lot of other players on waivers too, and that's probably why he cleared. But still, that's a bit surprising. There it is. The Boston Bruins have accepted our offer of Tarek Parasic, the rights to Paso, and 2 first-round picks in exchange for the 31-year-old defenseman Charlie McAvoy at half his salary retained. Complete trade. There it is. And now, of course, that also means we're going to have to send somebody else down. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be York. You know what? I think I'll send on a forward instead, and I'll roll with 8 defensemen for right now, because I don't want to send York down without first seeing how our defensive core performs. So I'll send down someone who's not going to go through waivers. I think that'll be Higgins. Yeah, his mental category is not great. And performance during the preseason wasn't great either. I mean, it was decent enough. It was good enough to earn him a spot on the roster, at least prior to trading for McAvoy. But for now, I'm going to send him to Hershey. So with that being done, this is your starting roster for the start of year number 7. You have Kochetkov and Knight in goal. And on defense, you have Lambos, McAvoy, Galvis, Lin, Levshunov, Cameron, Huang, and York. And at forward, you have Afanasev, Suzdalev, Misa, LaPierre, Crystal, Protas, Kartai, Deruio, Carconi, Artamanov, Toropchenko, Gautier, and Coots. If there was ever a year to get it done, this is the year. That is why I traded for McAvoy. And I think this is going to be a run. So that being said, let's get underway. The regular season of year number 7. Oh, first major injury of the year. Afanasev, 1 to 2 weeks with a strained hamstring. Okay, that's not too bad. And there goes another one. Brayden Coots. Oh, ruptured tricep tendon, indefinite. Yikes. How long is indefinite in this case? 173 days. The rest of October, November, December, January, February, March. That's like till mid-March. Oof. Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one. To the long-term injury reserve list you go. And that means we're going to have to call someone up here. And it may as well be Higgins. All right, I know it's early, but can we just appreciate Kochetkov right now? In 7 games played, 940 save percentage. Holy moly. That's, I mean, again, I know it's a small sample size, but that's pretty impressive to start out the season. You're going to have to step up your game, Spencer Knight. Don't make me regret that long 6-year contract, almost $8 million in cap hit. And now let's take a look at our team stats, as we are 9-4-1 on the season. Goals for per game, we are currently at a 3.64, 6th in the league. Goals against per game, 2.21, first in the league by far. Wow, that's mostly Kochetkov right there. Power play, still kind of not really there. And penalty kill, 90.7, first in the league. Yep, that is something to behold. Actually, let's just check on Spencer Knight real quick. Oh dear. Oh no. Spencer Knight, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? 891 save percentage in 8 games played. Come on, Spencer Knight. Come on. I mean, we're pretty clear we're gonna have to rely on Kochetkov for quite a bit here. At least until Knight gets it together, but I don't know. It's not looking good right now for Spencer Knight, especially not with that new contract. Oh man. All right, let's see what happens in November as we head to December 1st. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. McAvoy? Okay, day to day. I saw the 1%. I was like, oh no. I won't put him on the injury list just yet since he's day to day, because he might come back soon. Oh, okay. This says likely duration 1 to 2 weeks. Then I guess I will put him on the injury reserve list. Oh boy. Hendrix Lapierre, pulled abdominal muscle, 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. To the injury list you go. Oh dear. Protus. Hip flexor strain day to day. All right. So it's, at least it's not too bad. It's probably a week or two. And we're going to have to call up a forward here. So I guess that'll be Metcalf. He's at a 3-star ability now. And I remember he had a pretty good defensive grade in that one preseason game he played. So we'll may as well see what he can do during the regular season. Oh, media criticism of Afanasev after the loss against Winnipeg. Let's see. What did he do? I mean, he didn't have any points, but he didn't play a bad game by any means. 67 offensive grade, 66 defensive. So yeah, there was room for improvement, but I'm going to defend him, sure. I think I might send York down now because we're at 24 players on the roster and Metcalf has actually done pretty well. Like, I think he's got some potential here. He's got a 59 defensive grade, and that's not as good as he was during the preseason for sure. But just given his grades in the AHL the past 2 years, 74, 73, I think he has the potential to have what it takes to be a regular in the NHL, especially given his positioning at 18 and several ratings just in general where they need to be. So I want to get a closer look at him. And as for York, he's got a 1.5-star ability now, which means his contract is actually considered bad by the game. So I'm going to take the chance on York clearing waivers because I'm pretty sure at least that the computer won't claim him. That being said, there's no one on waivers right now, so it is a bit of a risk, but the way I see it, we're going to have to dump York off anyway by the end of the year, and I doubt we're going to get much back for him in a trade because he's making almost $4 million. We can't have that going into next season. There's no way that we're going to be able to afford that anyway. So we may as well just place him on waivers, see if he clears. If he does, great. If not, oh well. And we'll see what happens. Does he clear? I believe he did, as I did not get a notification. Yep, he did indeed clear. Anyway, I guess now we'll get through the rest of November and we'll check on the stats on December 1st. All right, so we are on December 1st. We are 17-7-4. Good enough for, I believe I saw second in the division. Yes, indeed, right behind Carolina. And let's take a look at the stats so far. So in goal, you have Knight with an .898 save percentage in 11 games played and an 18 games played for Kochetkov, a .925 save percentage. So he did fall off a little bit there, but it looks like he has, for the most part, stayed very good, as he's obviously gotten more wins than not. So I think we got to roll with Kochetkov for now. And on defense, you have Ryan Lynn leading the charge point-wise with 24 points in 28 games played. Yeah, we got a good one. We got a good one here in Ryan Lynn. I mean, last year he had 48 points in 68 games played. This year so far, 24 and 28. I mean, he's going to be a stud. Then you have Carson Lambos with 18 points in 28 games played. McAvoy with 17 in 24 games played. We have a lot of points scoring on the back end. Levshunov with 16, Huang with 13, and then you have Galvis with 4, Cameron with 4, and New York in 6 games played with 1. And at forward, you have Misa with 22. So currently, that means our leading point scorer is Ryan Lynn on the back end. Wow. Then you have Crystal with 20, LaPierre with 20, 18 for Suzdalev and Protas, 14 for Artamanov, 13 for Kartai and Karkoni, 12 for Afanasev in 20 games, 9 for Higgins and Gauthier, 8 for Toropchenko, 5 for DeRuio, 3 for Kutz, and 2 for Metcalf. Let's take a look at some of these grades. Carson Lambos with the 80 defensive grade. I mean, he is just so solid. He's just so good defensively. Let's see who's leading the way offensively. You got Suzdalev with a 71, Misa with a 70. Overall, Kochetkov with a 75. Lambos was a 72. Misa was a 68. So we're looking pretty good overall here. Let's check out the team stats. Goals for per game, we still are in 6th with a 3.61. Goals against per game, we are still in 1st by far with a 2.36. So nothing too concerning there. Power play, has that gotten better? Not really. 18.5, 19th in the league. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's not really surprising. I would like if it could get better, but that being said, I'm not going to break up what we have going on here unless something drastic happens. So I guess with that, we will continue on with the simulation. And honestly, we could probably go up to the trade deadline at the very least, if not just through the regular season. Actually, no, I take that back. I think we are going to stop at the trade deadline because we are going to have to consider what to do about the salary cap situation for next year. So I do want to at least evaluate that before we continue on. Oh dear, Kochetkov injured. How long? All right, good, day to day. Good. So I guess for now we'll call up Ivankovic. He'll see his first NHL action. We'll put Kochetkov temporarily on the injury list. All right, so in one game played, Jack Ivankovic hits the 957 save percentage in 22 saves and has a 74 grade. So it's not bad. Not bad, but I think I will be sending him back down to Hershey now that Kochetkov is back. Oh boy, looks like Gauthier and Galvis are not popular guys right now. Oh no, McAvoy 1%. Bone bruise, knee, 1 to 2 months. Unfortunate. So the player that we trade for as a rental, we don't even get to use for the whole year. That's unfortunate. He hasn't made me want to re-sign him, but he's definitely been helping, so yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, so we're on February 1st, about a month before the trade deadline. We're 29, 16, and 9. We're sitting pretty comfortably in a playoff spot. I wouldn't say we fall out unless we have some sort of drastic losing streak, but we've definitely been falling off a bit as of late, particularly in this month. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses in January. So yeah, that was not a pretty month. Wow, Ryan Lynn is really getting good now. 45 points in 53 games played. He might end up with 70 this year, assuming he stays the course. Coach, do you want to explain these lines? What are these lines? Suzdalev, Karkoni, Toropchenko on the first line. Then Kartai, Lapierre, Afanasev. That's not a bad line. Gauthier, Metcalf, Artamanov. But here's the most puzzling one. Deruio, Misa, Higgins. We're back to the Misa on the fourth line days. What in the world? What is it with our coaches and putting Misa on the fourth line? Poor guy. It's not like he's even been that bad this year either. 36 points so far this year. Looks like he's on track for about 60 or so. Maybe a little less, but still. That doesn't justify putting him on the fourth line. Oh, poor guy. Anyway, with that all being said, I don't think there's any trades that I want to make right now. I'm going to wait till like the last minute to make any trade deadline trades if we need to. So we're going to go up to March 1st, and then I think we might end it off there because I really want to carefully consider our options going into next season. Media criticizes Afanasev again. Media really does not like Afanasev, do they? Ooh, yeah, that's understandable. 48 defensive grade, no offense. Yeah, that's an understandable one. It's not like anyone else really did too well defensively this game either. We lost 6-0. So yeah, I'll agree with that one. So we just had the Winter Olympics, and it looks like Canada has won in the final over Finland, and the US wins over Russia in the third place game, I believe that is. Yes, indeed. So gold goes to Canada, silver Finland, bronze the United States. Okay, so we're on March 1st. First and foremost, let's take a look at the stats here. We're 33, 18, and 9, good enough for 75 points, and second in the division. Once again, pretty safe to say that I think we'll be in the playoffs. Again, as long as we don't go on any sort of insane losing streak towards the end of the season, I think we'll be okay. And let's take a look at the player stats now. In goal, you have Knight with an 899 and 26 games played, and Kochetkov with a 917 in 35 games played. On defense, you have Lin with 46 points, 31 for Levshunov and Lambos, 27 for Huang, 21 for McAvoy, 13 for Galvis, 10 for Cameron, and 1 for York in 6 games played. Forwards, you have Lapierre leading the way with 42. Then you have Suzdalev with 41, Crystal 40, Misa with 38, 35 for Protas, 33 for Afanasev, 26 for Artamanov, 22 for Kartai, 20 for Toropchenko and Karkoni, 15 for Gauthier, 13 for Higgins, 8 for Metcalf, 7 for Deruio, and 3 for Coots, who still is not back from his injury. And now let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, we've fallen down in a pretty big way here. 3.25. We are now 16th. That was previously at 6. And goals against per game, at least we're still first there, but we've still even there fallen down to 2.62. There's a team right behind us with the Islanders. Power play, at least that's not too bad compared to usual, 21.4. So that's finally starting to click a little bit, it looks like. And the penalty kill second with an 84.7. So as far as McAvoy goes, he hasn't done anything yet that would really entice me to re-sign him over somebody else. I mean, he wants 8.65 anyway, so he's definitely just a rental player. There's no way we're going to be able to afford that, but we knew that going into that trade anyway, right? So I'm fine with that. Suzdalev, he's making 2.6 right now. He wants 5.4 for 3 years. He's had a pretty good year, 41 points in 56 games played. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to re-sign him. So I'll start at 4.75 for 3 years. And I managed to get him down to 5 mil. So I will definitely take that. Now, Andrew Crystal. He's currently making 4 mil, roughly. This season so far, he's had 40 points. So he's had a pretty good year. He wants 6.4. Is he worth 6.4? What does he do physically? Yeah, I'd say he's worth it. He fits into this system pretty well. 59 blocks last season, 36 so far this year. But it's just, we have to consider what's happening with everybody else here. What about Protus? What's he done so far this year? 35 points in 48 games played. Not much of a hitter. He's 29. What does he want? 5.5. Yeah, there's a lot to consider here. Higgins, he's only got 13 points so far this year. Hasn't been too good defensively either. What does he want? 2.3. He might be one of those guys we have to move on from. I'm not going to lie. Metcalf, 8 points so far in 38 games played. He wants 1.4, so at least that's affordable, but I'm still going to hold off. I don't want to sign any of the smaller guys until we know what's happening with everybody else. Gautier wants 2.9. That's a little much for him, honestly. That is a little much. He's only had 15 points so far this season. 52 hits. Yeah, that's a little much. And then what does Carson Cameron want? 2.4 for 6 years. I mean, that's not bad for a guy of his skill level and for a 70 defensive grade as well. He's only played 34 games so far this year, 10 points, 63 overall grade. I mean, we're going to be getting rid of McAvoy anyway, so his ice time is probably going to increase next year. Yeah, in fact, I think I'll offer him now. All right, I managed to get him down to 2.33 for 6 years. Yeah, I'll offer Crystal. He deserves it. All right, so I was able to get Crystal down to 5.85 for 3 years. I will definitely do that compared to what he was asking for before, which I believe was 6.4. So that's a good deal for him. All right, so with the 3 of them signed, what's our cap situation for next year looking like? 7.7 mil. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to let go of a couple of these guys here, I'm thinking. We might also have to consider what we're doing with Knight because he has not been, ever since halfway through last season, he has not been up to par. And Kochekov's been pretty solid in his place. Now, is there anyone who I want to trade right now? Honestly, no. I think whatever trades we make can be done in the offseason. We knew we weren't going to be re-signing McAvoy going into that trade. Protus is still kind of up in the air, but I want to have him for the playoff run regardless. And I could auto-qualify Higgins, Metcalf, Larange, all these guys down here. I think we'll just move ahead with this team. So with that being said, let's advance to the end of the regular season. Oh man, another major injury for McAvoy, 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, unfortunate. Oh dear, here's another one. Suzdalev, hamstring strain, 1-2 weeks. All right, we'll be back in time for playoffs. And Braden Coots has finally returned. Wow. So he was gone till April 8th. He has not played a game since October 13th. I am very curious as to what coach is thinking here with these lines these days, because now you have Misa on the first line. That's alongside Gautier and Toropchenko. Then you have Protus, Karkoni, Artamanov, Kartai, Metcalf, Crystal, Deruyo, LaPierre instead of Misa now on the fourth line, and Coots. Oh my goodness. These AI coaches are very intriguing at times. I mean, I won't doubt that Guy Boucher knows what he's doing, but these are some curious lines for sure. All right, so we're on April 16th. We have officially finished the regular season simulation. We are 45, 25, and 12 on the season with 102 points. Second in the division, and in the league, we are 4th. So not a bad season overall. No President's Trophy, but that's fine. That being said, let's check out the player stats to end off the season. Spencer Knight in 35 games played with an .893 save percentage. Man. He has not been good ever since like halfway through last season. And then Kochekov in 48 games played with a .916 save percentage. Safe to say we know who we're going into the playoffs with. Then Jack Ivankovic in 1 game played. Definitely impressed with the .957 save percentage. And let's check out the skaters now. 69 points in 77 games played for Hendrix LaPierre leads our team. And then Ryan Lynn with 61 in 81 games played, following up a good rookie season with an even better season. Suzdalev with 59 points in 72 games played. Crystal with 58. 56 for Protus, 54 for Misa, 46 for Afanasev in 59 games played. Lambos with 45. Levshunov with 36. 34 for Huang, 33 for Artamanov, Toropchenko and Kartai with 32, 30 for McAvoy in 60 games played. Of course, he spent some time injured, but, you know, Would have liked to get more out of him for sure, especially with how much we gave up for him. Then there's Carconi with 27 points, 20 points for Gauthier, 18 for Hagens, 15 for DeRuio and Galvis, and Metcalf and Cameron, then 3 for Coots, and 1 for York. Team stats. Goals for per game, we finished 13th in the league with a 3.39, and goals against per game, we finished first in the league with a 2.76. Definitely got worse as the year went on, but still, we managed to keep it up there. Faceoffs, we finished 7th in the league with a 51.3. Power play, we finished 12th in the league with a 22.6. There you go. The power play finally figured itself out. And the penalty kill, 4th in the league with an 82.4. So overall, not bad. Could have been better for sure. But all we can do now is look towards the playoffs and hope that this is our year. Seems we have the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. We're 45, 31, and 6 on the season. But that being said, it is time to end things off here. And in the next one, we will go through the playoffs of year number 7 with your Washington Capitals.